Other than this, as this game kind of gets loaded in, so again, Five Nights at Loveland, Motor City Mutts, I believe, right? Is the next game in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we touched on this before, as they're going through, but Motor City still looking from those points. But let's see what they can kind of do here.
Yeah.
Fire team has taken the lead.
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
Earth team has taken the lead.
He worked very quickly going to get his bases. Really enjoyed having a chat with him before this game.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can see if we can get a Sater's interview here. Maybe we can get her as well, because we got the Rook. Maybe we can get her, because both of them standout players. Newer, haven't seen them play before, so definitely loving what I'm seeing from the Rook, though. Getting those two early bases, attacking from downstairs, kind of flanking. Are they going to come back up here? You can kind of see the clown car box there and Fortress. You got the 4 players there. Again, it's so hard to sit there and resupply efficiently. You see 2 green there controlling the second floor, the second platform over by Big Box. It's so hard to resupply in Fortress when you don't have that scout presence there, being able to hold there. Because you can see the person can just sit in the corner. You get double tapped like that. You stand up straight. You don't have your gun up far enough or down far enough. You just get picked off. The person just pitching a tent campfire in that corner outside a Big Box.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a s'mores.
Got his s'mores.
Yeah.
Got his liquid death.
Yeah. I know you can see what he's doing. He's doing the backtracks, but literally the resupply is shooting him every time. So like,
leading by 2,600 points.
I like the backtrack there. I like what Blackout's doing, but each time you're doing it, you're giving up a hit. So like you're giving up a hit in your shield, and then unfortunately this happens. Rook, though, coming in with that situational awareness, just, man, devastating. Both 3 hits went down in that exchange. But you see, clown car situation happening again. There's 4 there, 1 outside the box. And again, running straight up like that, it's so hard. It hurts my soul watching this, because they just keep running straight up while this man has his s'mores over his campfire.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Good backtrack, yeah. But they don't have the backside covered. Oh, they got missiled.
Yep, coming up the backside.
Fish in a barrel there.
Yep.
But I think the only person to set a track there, I think Disco Stu might have gone down the ramp, and so whilst,
Stu went down, Blackout went out. Blackout went towards Chamber, but
Judoku did come in and shoot everyone and ended up getting put down by the ref, so you kind of, it's tough. You kind of want to see the ref be a little more preemptive there, but also at the same time, Judoku, if it was me, if he had seen who had backtracked, you make a very loud, I'm not targeting such and such. So that you get the opportunity to run in there and get those points without getting put down by the referee. Great work there by Raya and Chamber. Hopefully,
yeah. I would have liked to see a missile there on the Rook. Like, you reset to...
It took a little bit too long to get that second, but yeah, you're right. Because that was my initial thought too, was, go back and get that missile, but maybe she thought that that he was going to come up before that. So that's another one by who was that with the face, the neck buff? Is that White Ninja?
Yes. I had to think for a second. I was looking, I was like, wait. It is White Ninja, yeah.
That makes sense. Looks like a ninja.
Earth team is leading by 6,000 points.
I wouldn't have chosen white though for
Yeah.
for the ninja mask. It's very reflective.
Maybe he's that good. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, maybe. Ray's definitely on an island here, sitting at 7 and 5, trying to get that nuke. I mean, I understand why you're there. Might benefit because Shikva's at 3 shots, but the 28 specials, it's rough.
Yeah.
Do it.
Strickler manages to get all the way to this, to the 40 special point mark and drop those 2. Really put some pressure on Rhea. Here comes Rhea's nuke. Gets it off. Relieve some of that pressure.
I mean, they were doing pretty good against hitting the rat. Rat's at 10. Lizzie's at 6.
Fire team is
Strickler replied
trailing
with
by
his own nuke.
3,900 points.
Yep. And it's hard. It's so hard though, because again, you get nuked. You can see green's already on the first floor, so
yeah.
I mean, I like being able to regroup, but Rhea does get lives there, so
yeah. Hopefully she can get sort of 3 or 4 resupplies, but that's a lot of downtime as well.
Yeah, the hard part about this is you see like there's not a lot of stuff happening here on the second platform, and then you see kind of White Ninjas up floating the third. You have the split resupply. Red comes up for the flank. White Ninja's like, oh hey, where's people at? They're about to run into each other, unfortunately.
Earth team is ahead by 3,700 points.
Good missile there by Blackheart and Judoku.
Yep.
And Lizzie with the boost, that's really helpful.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're able to get these lives off. They're definitely resupplying more efficiently downstairs.
Yeah.
And it is so tough. I know, like we kind of talked through the amount of games with Rusty of being able, like he was really bummed they only played 30 some games across the tournament in 2015, just because we were still kind of as the community trying to figure out how we make a tournament work with 10 teams, right?
Yeah.
With the double elim bracket. But I think here it's like you kind of see it benefiting Motor City Mutts and the Sunbeams, where they're getting to the point where they're slowly starting to catch on. And I know practice is always like a rough situation. In Loveland, it was, when I went there in 2015, it was a little bit of a rough situation in 2022 because they are so busy. They have that general public. They have those after school stuff happening at the center, which, shout out to Jeff for that, because we don't have anything like that over here.
Yeah.
For during open day hours, like day camp, stuff like that, there's nothing like that here. But I understand like the business aspect of it, but if these teams had like a little bit more practice or had that extra full second round, you could see a little bit of a more closer standings between some of those teams in that 20-point range.
For sure.
Because you can definitely see it here. Like they're playing the B team and they're living way longer than they ever have.
Yep.
They're resupplying more efficiently. They're knowing to where to go. They're setting up in those spots, and it does come from, unfortunately, getting smashed a bunch of times to realize, hey, we have to play this way.
Yeah. Ray getting killed out there.
But it does get into that discussion range where the amount of games do kind of matter. Like the practice time does matter for traveling or hybrid teams.
And maybe the importance in hindsight, if you are playing a shorter tournament, you should prioritize the quality of the games rather than and this goes back to the 1 through 4 and 5v8. You know, you don't want to lose quality games. And maybe if the sacrifice is, all right, well, we only have 4 days to play Nats where normally we have 5. All right, well, if that's the case, then we need to really be selective over the quality of games that are going to be played, you know, in the second round, in the pods. So, it is a shame that they have missed a whole day. Because you're right, like, you know, with that time, with that extra day, maybe Motor City versus St. George goes a little differently in the second round. Maybe you know, maybe St. George versus LAPD goes a little different in the second round. Like all of this stuff, we now miss just for a lack of time.
And again, this is not a knock towards like the coordinator, like
not at all.
Putting this all together, the timing, the schedule, nothing. It's just
or the center as well. Definitely not a knock.
Or the
Jeff,
center.
Like, you know, Loveland Laser Tag are running an outstanding facility. I think one of the best overall facilities I think that are out there that we have access to. So definitely not a knock.
Definitely.
Anyone.
Yeah, we're just simply talking like practice, the amount of games. How do we get the most quality games if we have a shorter time run? And I know, like, you know, Detroit experimented with the pods. We did it for a random draw. Even when we had the Detroit Invitationals, like the pods were amazing. It worked great. You get so many games in, but they were strategically put together where it's like, hey, you're playing the teams that are closest to you in the standings. And it's like some teams may not like it because it's like, oh, you don't want to give too much away. Maybe you want that skill gap to be there. I, for one, is never a player to cheese into, like, you know, getting a first place or something. So, you know, if we could have played Brisbane, you know, 7 times in a pod, I would have took it every single time, whether, you know, the outcome changed in 2019 or not. But I do think for teams that are traveling, hybrid teams with, you know, 2, 3, 4 centers on them, it benefits them and also benefits, you know, the viewers of watching them play each other. And it's like, I would love to see Motor City Mutts play Sunbeams, you know, multiple times, 100%. Have 5 nights at Loveland play Motor City and Sunbeams, even LAPD playing these 3 teams. I definitely think those games would have been super exciting. You'll see the growth. And then for the top 4, it's like, you know, maybe there is a little bit of apprehension of, you know, putting your chips all in at the same time. And, you know, the teams are getting better and they're slowly starting to close that gap. But you want those games because that's how you grow as a player. And it ultimately grow the scene for, you know, people watching the games itself.
Yeah, 100%. You know, if you... It only really just occurred to me now the way to frame it, and it's...
2 primary hiding spots in case of emergency. It's not really good because you get shot up from upstairs. But you can see a little bit of the upstairs, so people will lean over and pick them off. Alright, it looks like the game has started.
We started already.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was prepared.
It's my fault.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, Motor City Mutts here with 5 nights at Loveland. Motor City looks like going back to the Blackout Heavy. Phantom still in the scout position, and then Rhea still in that commander position. Rook doing the early rush there with the both bases. It does look like Green having a little bit of trouble on that ramp and cubby there. Kind of see Stu flowing up a little bit. You see Rhea a little bit attacking from the top side. Coming in, kind of clearing people out. Rhea's going to go over and get some resets, maybe. Oh. Was that a missile? It was a missile. Awesome job, Rhea. So again, they're in that like green cubby resupply spot, and we kind of talked about the different the different scenarios where you choose to go all the way up versus going all the way down. You do want to try to hold Cubby. Unfortunately, you notice that there's 5 green here. You want a green into big box. You see how 2 red are in big box. You don't want that to happen. You're just hemorrhaging lives here. You're eventually going to have to make the call to like, hey, let's get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Smart move there to shoot Lizzie, but she is going to lose a life going down here. Shikva is going to nuke. It's going to take the heavy out of the game. It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Motor City Mutts trying that strat out on green, but again, when you're using Cubby, you have to have control of big box. You want someone over there, even if they're battling for it. You want them to be able to hold that position. You saw on the camera there, they had 2 red people in big box just shooting over into Cubby, lighting everybody up. Rough start from Motor City Mutts losing the heavy on that exchange. Rhea also crit currently. Does look like the resupply is downstairs in that little Cubby. You kind of see them floating around. You'll see the lights underneath green ramp there. Looking over the side. Ray's gonna. Pretty sure Rhea, Phantom getting shot. Oh man, Ray's the missile. Yeah, it's all red here after them getting pushed down. Unfortunately, Rhea and Commander Heavy both out. Again, we kind of the big mistake there is in the Cubby when you're setting up for that. In the beginning, you have to have people go across on second. Like second is so important. And then you want a person going up to third to make sure no one's running across. So usually, for the faster players, the more agile players, it's going to be a heavier commander coming across third. It can be a scout, but a scout, you risk getting shot by the resupply from green ramp and green Cubby in some instances. But yeah, it's just, lack of experience in the arena and kind of playing that style, that half wall style there on that ramp for leaving your resupply at and then taking Cubby. Definitely rough for Motor City, but great job though by Loveland, sitting there, noticing what was happening. Loveland set up that straight line. When we say straight line, you have Fortress, you have Red Ramp, and you have 2 in big box shooting over to the green Cubby on second. There's really no reprieve from that, so let's kind of just mop up here. Check with another nuke, so that's gonna pretty much take out the 2 players. Take out the resupply from Motor City Mutts. Leave the 2 scouts. Crit on both, 3 and 2. The Rook unfortunately taking a penalty there, a bit rough. Looks like a chase on Stu, unfortunately. That would have chased Stu out of the game. Wouldn't be game changing, but still never a good feeling to get chased out of the game. Yeah, this one does hurt later, unfortunately. Man, again, it's so hard to hold that Cubby and green there on the second floor unless you have big box. Like you have to send someone over there at the start of the match. We talk about being a chess match with most teams. You see Cedar City playing Loveland. We have so many people going to that second platform. And you'll have maybe one person. Caleb usually does third ramp. I myself do third ramp. So you go up to the third floor and you kind of shoot across over. But definitely rough in that scenario because you see what happened. They couldn't set up. They couldn't get resupplied. Both 3 hits and needing it at the same time. And unfortunately both dying out going downstairs. So tough game for Motor City Mutts, but great job Loveland. 5 nights at Loveland B.